Hi everyone. For this iPad class, we are actually going to do a flip style classroom. This means that you are going to watch the tutorial that I'm going to give you. And then on Thursday for our iPad class, you're going to come in and ask any questions you have about this tutorial, or I guess about any questions you have in general about iPad. So today I'm going to talk about three major things: making folders, jumping, and accessibility features. And this is one of my favorite things about the iPad. The accessibility features really caters to our students with special needs or a variety of learners. So the first thing I'm going to do is review how to make folders. I just wanted to remind you that Jessica has put up a step-by-step picture tutorial on our iPad class link that's on the Centennial website. But just in case you'd rather see it live, you can watch me do it right here. So I'm going to share with you my iPad so I can walk you through everything. So here we go. So you can follow along with me with your iPad. Here is actually my home screen. But what I'm going to do is swipe right to my next screen. And I'm going to combine these two apps down here, iMovie and Pandora, into one single folder. So what I'm going to do is press and hold Pandora until it starts to shake. Remember, all of the ones that can be cut from the team are shaking because they're a little nervous that you might be doing that. So, but this gives you the ability to get rid of them off of your iPad screen or to place them into folders like I'm going to show you. So I pressed and held Pandora, and I'm going to hold it over iMovie because I'd like them in the same folder, and it's just going to pop up a folder automatically. I didn't do anything to make that pop up. Just when you hold one over another, it makes a folder. Up here, it gives you a predetermined title that they think would fit whatever's in the folder. But if you want to, what you can do is press this X in the corner and create your own title. So I might just call this fun because these are two fun apps that I have. So, and I'll press done, and the home button will make them stop shaking. And now I have a folder, and I'm going to click anywhere outside of the folder that I see just to get out of the folder. And now my folder is made down here, okay? Say I don't want these in a folder anymore. I'm going to actually bring it back up. So I'm going to press on the fun folder. I'm going to press and hold one of the apps until it starts shaking again. And that's interesting. It's not showing it shake on here. Oh, now it is. Okay, so then say I don't want Pandora in this folder anymore. I'm going to drag it just outside of the folder box. So I'm going to drag it outside, and it's going to take me back out, okay? Say I don't want iMovie in the folder anymore either. I just want this whole folder gone. I'm going to do the same thing. Drag it outside, move it to where I want it, and we're good to go. Press the home button to get them to stop shaking, and you won't accidentally delete anything. Remember that there is nothing, let's say 99% of what you do can be undone. So don't worry about, oh my gosh, I deleted this, or I really needed this info, or whatever. It's almost always able to be restored. There's always multiple ways to get to something, so don't worry. You can bring it to one of us. You can look at the tutorials we have. We are here for you guys. So another thing I'm going to show you is jumping. And I actually wanted the camera back on me, not because I love to watch myself talk, but it's actually easier for me to show you what I mean by jumping. So normally when we want to go home, we press this big button at the bottom of our iPad called our home screen. If we double click it, just like a mouse, if we double press it quickly, I'm going to be able to see all of the things that I have done recently. So just recently, I was on Pandora. It's going to show me the app at the bottom, and it's going to show me the screen that I was just last on, okay? We were playing classical music during our class, so that's what I have up. I can scroll to the right and see in order the other apps that I've used, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time, not right here, but I'm going to show you my actual iPad, and we'll go from there and why this is a useful feature. So I'm actually going to press my home button again just once. It's going to take me back to my regular screen, and let me share with you my own iPad so that you can see what I'm doing when I do it. So I'm going to screen share the iPad. And now you should be able to see my iPad, okay? So if I press the home button, it's just going to take me back to my general screen, my opening screen. And what I'm going to do again is press the home button, the big circular button at the bottom of your iPad, twice. So I'm going to press mine twice. And it's going to bring up in order what I've just been on. I was just on Pandora before this class because I was playing some Jack Johnson radio for them, as you can see right here, okay? At the bottom, it's going to show you the app icon, and then it's going to show you the screen it was on, okay? Before that, I was doing some things in settings. I'm actually just scrolling right now. And before that, I was in iBooks, okay? So say I want to jump from each of these things, but I don't want to always press the home button and then find the app I need and then open it up again, okay? What I'm going to do is called jumping. So say I want to go to Pandora. I'm going to click on Pandora, either on the app at the bottom or on this screen. I want to go here, and I want to make sure I'm playing something. So maybe I'm going to play some Norah Jones, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and double click my home screen, or my home button at the bottom, because I want to listen to music while I am working in settings, okay? So now I'm doing that. Oh, wait, but I hate this song. So what I'm going to do, instead of going all the way home, finding the Pandora app and clicking on that, I'm just going to double click, and it's going to show me that I just was on Pandora. So I can easily go there and switch up what I want to. So I'm actually going to pause this so you can actually hear me, okay? Oh, but now I need to go back to settings. So I'm going to double click my home button, and there I can go back to settings. Or I could go to my iBooks because I know I was just there recently, okay? So this is a way for you to not have to press the home button once, go all the way home, okay? So this would be me pressing the home button once. I'm going all the way home. Then I have to try to find whatever app I needed. If I was just using it recently, it wouldn't be a big deal for me if I used my jumping feature, okay? So that is jumping, okay? And I went back to my home screen because now what I'm going to do is talk about accessibility features. Let me exit this, hold on. So remember, the big thing about accessibility features is it makes the iPad even more versatile for your versatile learners. So if you have students with a hearing disability or vision issues who may or may not be identified by the special education department, all of these things are making your iPad even more accessible than it already is, okay? So what I'm going to do is walk you through a lot of these features. Remember, this is recorded. You can back it up at any point. You can watch it as many times as you want. And if you still have questions, you can bring them on Thursday morning. That's what we're here for, okay? So I'm going to share my iPad again. And what I'm going to do is I am on the very front home screen. And where I want to go is settings right here. So that's what I'm going to click on. And I want to go into general. I just happened to be there because I was already using the accessibility features. So I'm in general, and I'm going to scroll to the very top. So what you probably see is about and software update and spotlight search. I'm going to click on this one, the fourth one down. It's accessibility, okay? And the first thing I'm going to talk about is VoiceOver. So this is at the very top, okay? The VoiceOver accessibility feature allows you to have your iPad screens read to you. So if the print is too small, or if one of your students isn't quite sure where they want to go, or if they need something read to them, the word is too difficult for them, the name of an app, it's going to read it to them. The VoiceOver app or accessibility feature only reads your iPad screens. It doesn't necessarily read what is within the app. That is a different feature that I will tell you about. The VoiceOver accessibility feature just helps you navigate your iPad screens. Okay? So as you can see right here, it's really, really lovely because they tell you exactly what you need to know to do a VoiceOver. It's tap once when this is turned on. So I'm going to toggle this over to the right so that I know it's turned on. When this is turned on, I tap once to select an item. VoiceOver on. And I'm sure you can hear that now. I double tap to activate an actual item. Normally you would only, if VoiceOver was off, you would only tap the app once, but because it's on, you tap it once to actually hear what it is, and you double tap it to open it, okay? And to swipe, you're gonna swipe with 3 fingers instead of 1, because again, if you tap anything once, it's gonna read whatever's in the area. The other thing I want to tell you about is VoiceOver practice. This is a great thing for you guys to do on your own. I'm not going to walk through this right now because this is very, it's just a great tutorial that iPad does for you. I am going to lower the speaking rate because, oh, I can't do that on the computer. I'm going to lower this speaking rate.
4% adjustable. Swipe up or down with 1 finger to adjust the value. Speaking rate. Speaking rate. 24%.
So
adjustable.
You can probably access that or lower the speaking rate when you're not in VoiceOver. It's probably easier. But what I'm going to do is show you what VoiceOver looks like. I'm going to tap my home button because I know it's on right now. I'm going to tap my home button.
Home. Messages. Double tap to open.
So if you can hear Siri right now, she's saying she has messages highlighted, and she says,
messages. Double tap to open.
Messages, double tap to open. If I want to open messages, I'm going to double tap it. Maybe I want this one down here that I don't know what this is. I'm going to tap it once.
Common Core. Double tap to open.
So it tells me the name of the app, and it tells me I need to double tap it to open Common Core. And it's told me again what it is to open it. Okay. So I'm going to press my home button.
Standards. Search field. Double tap to edit.
So VoiceOver is great
Messages.
for,
Tap to open.
you know what? I'm going to turn off VoiceOver right now so that I can tell you guys what VoiceOver is great for.
Settings. Settings. Heading.
Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. Okay. So now I've turned off VoiceOver, and VoiceOver is really good if you would like to have a student working on an iPad, but also kind of overhear what they're doing. If you can't be right next to them, which is often most of the time, you can't be sitting right next to them, being on the iPad with them. If they are working in a small group or just independently, and you kind of want to hear where they're going, if you want them on a reading app, but then you hear that they're going on a math app through the VoiceOver technology, it might be a great way to monitor what they're doing. This is also great for students who do have vision issues or are served by the vision department. It just allows them to have greater accessibility to the apps, okay? It does get a little tricky, even as you saw, like some of the things are hard to do, like I couldn't move the speaking rate. So you do need to practice these things in case you're gonna use VoiceOver. I don't use VoiceOver a lot. I use a different accessibility feature that allows all text to be read, and I'll go into that. But that's an overview of the VoiceOver. Now I'm gonna go into a different feature for you guys. So I'm gonna share my iPad again. And I am going to hit accessibility up at the top to go back to most of the accessibility features. And I am going to just gloss right over Zoom. Zoom is basically an internal magnifier to make certain parts of your iPad bigger, but I will tell you that it is not intuitive at all. It's difficult to navigate. So I want you to kind of ignore Zoom because there's a different way we can make things enlarged, okay? So VoiceOver is to navigate your screens and to get into different apps. Zoom we're going to ignore, even though it is a nice magnifier. It's not very intuitive. I'm going to go over invert colors. This is for students also with vision issues or who have a lot of trouble with a lot of visual stimuli. So to invert colors, you would just toggle this over to the right to make it green. And all of a sudden, the iPad has changed colors. I'm going to actually show you because it doesn't allow me to do it on this venue, but this is what happens when I toggled it over. I'll do it one more time, okay? Sorry if you're getting a lot of reflection. This is a regular iPad screen. Now I'm going to toggle over and invert the colors. This is what the home screen looks like when I invert the colors, okay? It's just a different visual for them. I kind of like it. It just sets things up differently, kind of forces them to look at different things on the iPad if they're pretty used to it. So this is another great accessibility feature. Okay. So I am going to share my iPad again with you guys and just bounce back and forth if you don't mind. So that is what the invert colors does. So again, I'm going to click on settings to get back to my accessibilities features. I'm already here. Okay. I'm going to turn off invert colors. Grayscale does the same thing, does a similar thing as invert colors. It just makes everything obviously from black to white, no colors involved. Okay. So some students might like that to reduce any visual stimuli. Okay. All right. The last, or one of the last ones I'm going to talk about is speech. This is one of my favorite accessibility features. I'm going to go ahead and touch it. Okay. And I have all mine turned on actually. The speak button or the speak accessibility feature allows text to be read to you within any app. Okay. So what this says here is a speak button will appear when you select text. Selecting a text means pressing and holding on a certain word, and you can select that word, you can select a sentence, you can select an entire text, just as you would on the computer in a Word document or a Google document, okay? So a speak button will now appear. The speak selection allows that button to appear. The speak screen, when you have this toggled to the right, this allows you to quickly swipe down from the very top of the screen with 2 fingers to allow the entire screen to be read to you. This is obviously an amazing feature for our early readers or students who want to be, or who are not at quite grade level, but would like to also be seen as grade level readers. They are reading a text and perhaps a grade level text, and down here the content is highlighted. I have all 3 of these open. You have to have speak selection toggled to the right to access it, and you have to but you don't necessarily have to have either one of these. I put both of them on because I think it is a wonderful feature. I think all of the content should be highlighted as it is spoken so that students are reading along with the reader and not necessarily just listening to the story. I've slowed the rate down to almost to the turtle just because you can get it going really fast. And if it's too fast, then they're not read it. So I'm actually going to demonstrate what this is like. All my features are on. So I'm good to go. I'm going to press the home button, the circular button at the bottom of your iPad. And I'm going to bring up iBooks. My iBooks just happens to be right here to demonstrate this. And I have a lovely Cat in the Hat book already open. I'll show you what it looks like when I just want one word read to me. I know how to read I sat there with, but ooh, this is a really tough word. I'm going to actually just press and hold over that word with my finger, and it's going to highlight it. And now a speak button has appeared. That was that first toggle that you slid to the right at the very top of this accessibility feature in settings. So speak means Siri's going to read speak to me. Okay, so I'm going to press speak.
Sally.
And she just read that to me. Okay, I'm going to click out because I'm good to go. I needed that word read to me. But another reader might need this entire page read to them. So what I'm going to do is swipe down from the very top with my 2 fingers. I'm going to unshare my screen right now so that you can watch me do this. Okay. I'm on my iPad. I'm going to swipe down with 2 fingers from the very top. Oh, you know what? Mine is already on. I'm sorry. Let me exit out of this so you can see me do it from the very beginning. Okay. I'm going to swipe down from the very top. Technology is a lovely thing sometimes.
I sat there with Sally. We sat there, we two, and I said, how I wish we had something to do, too wet to go out, and too.
So I'm going to pause it there. Now you get the idea. When I swipe down with 2 fingers, it brought up a menu at the top. Let me share my screen with you so that you can see what I mean a little closer. It brought up this menu at the very top here. Right here. I can slow the rate of speech. With this turtle, I can go back a page, I can pause and play, I can go forward a page, or I can speed up the rate. It's just automatically minimizing for me as I'm not pressing anything. It's just getting it out of the way. Or I can X this box out altogether, okay? Or I can move it over to the left, and this is moving it back out, okay? So this is what this feature does, and I love it because it highlights, it reads it, and students can really feel like they are owning the book that they are reading.
Cold to play ball, so we sat in the house. We did nothing at all, so all we could do was to sit, 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 and we did not like it, not one little bit.
So I love this feature. This is one of my favorite ones. Again, I obviously can't stop talking about it. I just think this is really great for students who can't quite yet read on grade level and still read a grade level book if it's on your iPad. So this is a wonderful accessibility feature. So again, it is found. I'm going to go home and show you again where it is found. I'm going to press my home button to get out of my book. Now I'm on the main screen. I am going to go back to settings. And now I'm in accessibility. You can leave all, and I'm actually in the speech part of accessibility. You can leave all of these on, and it's not going to do what VoiceOver does. It's not going to really hinder what you're doing. It's just going to enhance what you're doing, okay? I'm going to go back up top and press accessibility again. I do want to show you larger text. This is wonderful because if you do want students reading who might not be able to see such a small print as in the iBooks, you'll be able to toggle this to the right and increase the text and see an example that is right above it, what the text will look like, okay? I'm going to toggle that off because I don't need it. I'm going to click on accessibility. I am going to go down here and talk about reduce motion. Reducing the motion actually not only saves your iPad battery, but it might just reduce any visual stimuli that your students are feeling from the iPad. So when I click on reduce motion and I toggle this over and I press the home button, you're going to see that the screen just fades. Same thing if I reopen settings again. The screen just kind of fades back up. I'll show you what it looks like when reduce motion is not on. So here's it without the reducing the motion. Can you see how it almost zooms in and zooms out? When we reduce the motion for our students with a higher sensitivity to visual stimuli, it might actually help them concentrate a little bit better, okay? So that's the reduce motion accessibility feature. I'm going to go back to accessibility here. And I'm going to talk about two more things quickly. I'm going to scroll to the bottom. I want to highlight subtitles and captioning. If you are watching a video on the iPad and captioning is available, if this is toggled to the right like mine is, it will show captions. Again, I always love the option to have students read, even if they know a video that's playing. I love captioning, not only for our students that are deaf and hard of hearing, but just all students, because it gets them not only just zone, but they are actively reading something that they might know just from hearing, okay? So that's another accessibility feature. It's not going to always caption everything. This is only for things that actually have captioning attached to them. It's just going to turn it on here. Just like on your DVD player. You don't always have captioning turned on, but you can turn it on for those DVDs that have it. Accessibility again, and then I'm going to scroll down. Just one last thing at the very bottom is your accessibility shortcut. So say you just love the voiceover feature, or you just love the inverted colors and you want easier accessibility to this accessibility part of the iPad. This will, whatever you check, so say I like the invert colors and I might use that a lot, but I don't want it on all the time. If I check invert colors, this allows me to triple click the home button to access this feature. So I have invert colors checked. And what I'm going to do is show you what that looks like for me. So I have invert colors checked. I am going to triple click my home button. And actually, it's much easier for me if I take this outer box off to triple check it. 1, 2, 3. And now it inverted the colors. 1, 2, 3. And now it uninverts the colors, or verts the colors. So I realize that's not really a word, but triple clicking allows you to access the accessibility feature that you think you're going to use more often just by triple clicking. I hope that makes sense. You might need to go back and rewatch what I just said, because I'm not sure I was super clear. So what I'm going to do again is screen share just my iPad so that you can see how I got that again. Okay. So I'm going to click on settings, and I'm going to go back so I'm in the accessibility feature of the settings, and I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and click on accessibility shortcut. You can choose voiceover, invert colors, grayscale, or zoom. Remember, zoom we're not really using, okay? It's just not very intuitive, and I feel like you guys will be more frustrated than you are feeling helped with it. Switch control and assistive touch are both really for our students with more severe impact of their disability. This is what you would think about a transition to using the iPad for assistive tech. So this would be more of students who had switches before, a Dynavox, something that connects to the iPad to still implement what they had before, or to easily transition them to the iPad. So you're not going to really use either one of those things, but they're there obviously to make it even more accessible to all learners. So that's an overview of what the accessibility features do for you. You don't have to know every single thing about the iPad. We're more than willing to share that with you, but even I don't know everything about the iPad. Even Jess doesn't know everything about the iPad. So, but those are the ones that you can really use and really implement like today. So watch it over again. Write down any questions you have. If anything was not clear, I would love to hear you guys' feedback. But this is kind of a cool thing for us to do, to give you a tutorial and then have you come in and ask questions about it. You can always come in and ask any questions you have. It doesn't have to be just on this material. So I hope you guys liked it, and I hope it was helpful, and we'll see you on Thursday.